guys. So today we're going to talk about 6 tips on making wedding films that make people cry. Okay. Tip number 1 is look around for emotional audience. Okay. So when you're making your wedding film, always look around for people who are crying or people who get emotional. It's mainly during the ceremony. So always have not always, but always look out for people who are about to cry. Maybe during the vows, when the bride and groom are saying their vows, you can zoom in on the parents. Usually the mom cries, or sometimes the dad gets emotional, or the mom gets emotional. When you capture that moment, when the parents are getting emotional, that's a golden moment for you, man. That's a golden moment. Never let that moment, capture that moment. When you zoom in on the mom or the aunt or the bridesmaid, one of the bridesmaid like crying, or they get teary, it happens a lot. Always look out for those shots. Always zoom in on those people who are crying or who are about to cry or get emotional. Those are the key moments. So look out for those moments. Look out for those audience members who are about to cry or who cry during the vows or during the ceremony, when the bride is walking down the aisle and stuff like that, and the groom as well. Always look out for those shots when those people are about to cry, because those shots make people who are watching, or make the bride and groom or the guests cry when they watch the wedding film. So always look out. Those moments are so emotional. Also, when the dad sees the bride for the first time, the bride usually sometimes cries, or her bridesmaid cry and stuff like that. And when they get emotional, always look out for the audience members that cry. Sometimes it might not be the bride or the groom, but the audience members cry. They get emotional. So look out for those moments, because they're going to make your video perfect. They're going to make your video emotional when you capture those moments. All right. So, that's tip number 1. So tip number 2 is audio. Okay. So in audio, I mean the vows and the toasts, and always get clear audio of the vows. Get clear audio of the toasts. When you get clear audio, and usually the bridesmaids or whoever's making the speech, maybe the mom sometimes gets on the mic.
Kimberly and Zach been through a lot. Today's 10 years of them being together. Zach, you stole my little girl. She was 15. My daughter started backwards. She started from having kids to getting her GED, going to school. You did everything backwards, Kimberly. But I admire you because you did the right thing. You're working, you graduated.
Make sure the audio also makes people cry. Also, sometimes the officiant or the uncle who's or the whoever doing marrying them and stuff like that, they talk about their love and how this couple got together and all those little things. And the audio has emotion. The audio has a lot of emotion.
I understand that marriage is more than just words or a ring or a paper. It's a promise to dedicate your life to someone come what may. And I'm promising that to you and much more today. They say a great marriage is not when the perfect couple comes together. It is when an imperfect couple learns to enjoy their differences.
Tip number 3 is capture the couple's personality. The audience must get to know the couple. So when you're doing the film, always try and capture the personality of the couple, the people that you're taking the wedding video for.
Can you get that on camera, please?
Yeah, spray it.
Most wedding films are so short, sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes they are 8 minutes, 10 minutes, however you edit your videos. But try and get to, try and put some of the couple's personality in, in the highlight video. That way, your audience kind of knows the personality and stuff like that. So that way they can, start caring about the couple. Because mainly this is for film. If you've done film, if you shoot films, feature films, short films, you're gonna know that you have to get the audience to care about your main characters. The more your audience care about your main characters, the more the emotion comes out when certain things happen, like when they're crying or stuff like that. So always capture the couple's personality.
Here's to our beautiful bride that I was fortunate enough to meet about not even 10 years ago, but we'll say 10. I love you. I'm so happy.
Wait. You stop. Number 4 is the music that you use for your wedding video. So the music you use also plays a big role in making your audience cry, making your audience emotional. Just the sound, because sometimes when there's no music and the emotion, the moment might be emotional, but it might not bring out that that emotion. But also, like, if you put that cinematic music to it, if you put that music that makes people cry, man, that makes people emotional, that music adds to also, it adds to the visuals. The visuals are important, but the music as well, the sounds, that's also a key to making your audience cry for a wedding. Because just like in tip number 3, how you capture the personality of the couple, so that way people can care for the couple. But another thing is, you also have, most weddings, people who are watching the wedding, family and friends already know the couple, so it's not gonna take them long to get emotional. But if you can make people that don't know the couple get to know the couple and then cry, that's really big. You have to also try and get the audience to kind of know the couple. So as far as also the music, you have to get the music to, whereby it evokes such an emotion that people get emotional when they're watching. They get teary when they're watching the video. Just like I said in my other videos, that when you do a wedding video, a wedding highlights video, and people don't cry, it can be a 5 out of 10, 8 out of 10, whatever. But when people cry, when tears are in the video, it's going to shoot that level up to 10 out of 10 or whatever. So we come up to tip number 5. So tip number 5 is capture tears of joy and anticipate the shots. So this is a big tip. Like, you have to anticipate the shots, just like I say in my other videos. Anticipate the shots. When you anticipate a shot, you're golden. Because most of the moments at a wedding when people cry are shots that you didn't plan for. You never plan for a wedding. You never know who's going to cry. You're there to shoot the wedding, so you never know who's an emotional person. So when you anticipate shots, when certain things happen and you happen to be recording it, people cry, that's golden. So anticipate the shots at a wedding. Anticipate an emotional shot. So tip number 6, the last tip is slow motion. So slow motion is slow down the emotional moments in a wedding, like the cake cutting, like the bride crying, or one of the audience members crying. Just slow down that emotion, slow down that moment. Slow down a lot of moments in weddings. That's what I do for most of my weddings. I always slow them down. I always have them recording. Well, you can record on maybe 128 or whatever, but always slow them down and make them smooth, to whereby the slow motion of it just invokes that emotion. Like, it just has that emotion. It just gives that goosebumps. So always slow down a lot of your stuff when you're editing, because so that comes up to the editing part, the post-production. So most of these tips were during shooting, during the moment, but the last tip was during post-production. Try and slow down most of those emotions. So that's it, guys. That's it. That's how you make an audience cry while for your wedding films. You know, that's how you make an audience cry. You look around for the emotional audience. You capture audience that are crying or about to cry or get emotional. Number two was the audio. Always capture good audio. During the vows, the bride mostly is gonna, crack up. The toast, the bridesmaids, and so whoever's making the toast usually get emotional. You know, it's an emotional moment. A wedding is emotional. People are gonna cry, so make sure you get clear audio. Tip number three, capture the couple's personality. So always capture the couple's personality and get the audience to know the couple if they don't already, like people who are just watching your videos in case they want to book you for their wedding. So always try and make them cry, because when you make them cry, they'll book you. Number four was the music. The music you use, the instrumental you use, always also plays a big role in if you want to make them cry. Number five was capture tears of joy and anticipate the shots that people are going to cry. Do that. Number six, slow motion. Slow it down in post-production. Slow down most of those key moments when you're going to know what shots you want to slow down and what shots to not slow down. So always try and do that, okay? So extra tips here that I got on my phone is most of the work will rely on your filming skills, e.g., example given, your cinematography, how you how you edit the film, how you shoot it, composition, how you light up the whole thing. At a wedding, mostly we don't have the time to kind of like compose the shot and stuff like that. So just try and like work around whatever settings you have. Some people have more time, some people have less. So always composition, that's good. Rules of thirds, always try and follow the rules of thirds. If you can't, that's fine. It's not a big deal, you know what I mean? But always try and like do that. And the lighting, the way you light your scene up. Most weddings, like, you don't control the lighting, but always try and work something out with that too. Camera angles, always try and get an angle where angles also, like, they evoke that emotion. You know what I'm saying? So that's that, man. And the way you move your camera too. Most people think they don't need a slider, they don't need a glider and stuff like that. Like, most of those equipment also help with invoking that emotion. They also help with creating that emotion, getting your audience to that level to whereby, damn, this is really good. So that's that. Those are the 6 tips on how to make wedding films that make people cry. So hopefully these tips are going to help you in your next film, and you're kind of going to use them to your advantage, so that way you can create better wedding films. So thank you for watching. My name is Francis, and as usual, I got my pillow here, my subscribe pillow. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'll be creating helpful, creative tips on how you guys can better your wedding films. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe. Thank you.